Internet and Anthropology class. My name's Shelby, this is my assistant Cookie, and we're going to be telling you about video game culture, where it was, where it is, and where women fit into it. I've seen a couple presentations already dealing with video game culture, but I'm going to really throw my side of the story into it, seeing that I am a female and that I do play games. I even have my own live stream that I do stuff with, so let's get started. The first real video games hit up in arcades. There are many speculations to who and what was made first, but we have a few other examples of things that happened first, including this chess game and Polybius, which also has made quite a lot of stir in the video game community. And it was going alright, and then Atari came out, and other home consoles like the Magnavox. And it really brought gamers into their homes. And since these technologies were new and quite unexplored, people would spend a lot of time in their basements programming, playing, and tweaking games. There's happened a lot with Atari, since there were a lot of programmers that would actually edit game data and make new games under no publishers. Since there weren't very many video game publishers, anybody could make video games. So that kind of took a sinister turn when games like Custer's Revenge and some other interesting things came out. You see, it was really hard to make long and in-depth games due to technological limitations of the time. So instead, people who designed video games actually made them harder to sort of make them longer. This may be the reason why a lot of people would stay home, because they were determined and competitive enough to know that they had to beat this game. Along with the video game crash in the 1980s, that was due to a market that was flooded with different titles and one really big flop. The day was saved by the entertainment system that brought home new and exciting titles to gamers everywhere. Now, this kind of moves into the community side. You see, video gamers were kind of outcasts in society at this time. In pop culture, they were often made fun of as geeks or dorks or nerds, and typically had some sort of dress that looked kind of like, like this or like this. And oftentimes in media, we're shown being picked on, bullied, or just socially inept, which isn't always true. But there was a wonderful subculture that was born out of this. Since gamers really didn't have the internet or really anything besides magazines to provide them with source materials, any game secrets were shared by word of mouth. Now this is super important because communication is key to a culture. This golden age of communication between players is something that many young players about my age can recall, because they would go to school and they would come to their friends and go, "Oh my gosh, Johnny, did you get to like the super awesome level of Donkey Kong?" And they're like, "That level doesn't exist." You're like, "Yes, it is. You gotta go here." And then they would go home and try it, and then it was just it was awe-inspiring because rumors spread by mouth. Now, as soon as the internet came, things changed a little bit. In the 1990s, the top-rated searches were porn and Pokemon. Gamers found themselves able to communicate with each other, especially through new games that were coming out for the PC with the use of internet. And here came another console to be born. Something with high amounts of customization and programming that could be accessed. This was the birth of PC gaming. Now, somewhere in the 2000s, nerd culture became something of an icon to people. It became cool to be a nerd, and I think this has something to do with the internet. Being that the internet is technological, and to access the internet you have to have some sort of technological fiend in the family, and then to use computers in general, sometimes you need a technological person. It suddenly became really cool to be really nerdy, because they had money, and they know what to do, and they had access to the best community ever. Hello? So in the 2000s, we saw nerds that were kind of scrupulized now are kind of revered, and that's where women kind of fit in. You see, women always were there. We were always there from the beginning. There's actually this lady who just had an interview with the BBC or the UK, And she has been playing games for 40 years. Literally since the beginning of video games she's been playing. This lady is 96, or at least she's soon to be 96. And don't think that she plays no solitaire or card games on her computer. No, this lady plays Halo and Grand Theft Auto 4, and she has a great time. Problem with women gaming, or more so the problem with women in gaming according to men, is a lot of different factors. This has been highly discussed in the community as of late because many girls are becoming interested in games, and this is some sort of an untapped market, which a few people have tried to invest in, like Girl Tech or some other girl companies, but they're really marketing towards girls only. We don't have any companies out there, at least that are willing to admit that they market to both genders equally. Seeing that most of the gaming community is males, 18 to 32, they don't find that they have to market towards women. And some CEOs have been quoted saying that women should just stop gaming at all, which is incredibly heartbreaking. You have this wonderful market that is growing rapidly, and you just choose not to acknowledge it because of old ways. You don't want to change women or change your you don't want to change your advertising so you can include women, or use marketing strategies that don't involve women with bikinis or boobs or, manly stuff like chainsaws. And instead, you don't want to use gender neutral things, and you don't have to market to women. Just don't market so fiercely to men. Don't put girls with busty boobs everywhere. I mean, some girls are into that, but not every girl's into that. Not every guy's into that. So, as for women, it's hard to be in the video game community from time to time, seeing that many males dominate the industry, and many males dominate the online gaming community, especially in games like Call of Duty or Halo. Playing online can sometimes end up in disastrous results. As soon as you turn that mic on and you make one comment, you're either labeled as a 12-year-old boy or a girl. And if you're found as a boy, then people will make fun of you and then harass you for being a 12-year-old boy. But if they think you're a girl, they'll harass you and try to get pictures of your boobies. Good luck with that. No. Nobody gets this. This image arose on the internet a few years ago depicting what people like to call quote-unquote a gamer girl, and was met with a lot of interesting commentary. Because of its nature of being sort of sexual yet cute at the same time, some people really enjoyed the image for what it was, and then others kind of poked fun out of it for being a gamer girl. This is kind of what the name gamer girl has kind of devolved into, thinking about girls like this playing games who don't really play games but are just doing it to get guys' attention. Which is really sad because the rest of the girls who are actually playing to play the games are put into this category and it's stereotyped. That's why when any time a girl goes online, she's kind of harassed and kind of ousted by the other male players because they are imagining something along the lines of this. And what I would like to promote are more healthy images of girls playing games that are pretty realistic. There are some girls out there who play just like guys and are just like guys and live like bachelors. So basically, to wrap this up, women are going to become a very strong force in video games, and there are already women writers, women programmers, women directors. You wait, because there may be, in sometime in the future, a whole publishing company that makes wonderful games, and they're all women. Could happen. You never know. As for me, I'm hoping the future gets better. Thank you guys. And that was my presentation.